Okay, first part of evading is running as far and fast as you can from the initial site where you are seen. So say an enemy team sees you, the first thing you want to do is get as far away as possible. So run until you can't run anymore. So this is a very steep hill. I don't have a cameraman, but let's just practice. Let's see. So I'm being tracked now. I gotta get out of here as fast as I can. So first thing I'm going to talk about, you see I'm kind of in open trees right now. So I'm using this log and some concealment above me. I'm wearing clothes that match in with the environment. My pants, my shoes, my sweatshirt. You know, I'm trying to break up the silhouette, break up straight lines. Like on my arm, you want baggier clothes. So I'm trying to break up, you know, any straight lines or anything that can resemble a human or anything that's sticking out awkwardly in nature. You know, I can use vegetation. I'll put some of these in my sweatshirt or around my hat or my neck, on my gaiter, you know, and take some mud and just, you know, try to blend in as naturally as possible. You know, this is the main goal. I want no shine, so I'm not having any water bottles with metal shining, no equipment shiny. I want everything to be rubbed out with dirt or vegetation around me. So as you can see, these are open trees. So again, I chose this spot under this tree here. I'm laying down, I'm staying as low as possible. I want to talk as little as possible. So we could start talking about the movement aspect. When moving, I want to do very short bursts of movement. I want to use the sounds around me for cover, whether that's airplanes, thunder, birds, water. You want to time as best as you can with any movements that you have to do with nature sounds or man-made sounds. So say there's a lightning storm or it started raining, that's perfect time for movement. Now you do want to move in short bursts. So I'll do like every 50 yards, I'll do what's called stop, look, listen, smell. So stop, look, listen, smell. I'm stopping, I'm looking around to see if I see any unnatural movement. In this case, I'm looking for anyone who's, you know, after me. In this case, it's an evasion type scenario. Looking around, I'm listening for any voices, silence, where you did hear animals at first and it started going silent. Maybe that means someone's coming in that area, and I'm smelling to see if any unnatural smell, maybe a fire from people around me, or camp. These are all things, so just remember, stop, look, listen, smell. So when I'm moving, I want to avoid as best as I can, like dirt or mud like this. Try to step on hard surfaces like rocks or something like this tree is perfect. So again, avoid leaving any trace of you being here or moving through. So for example, you know, a good tracker, they would be able to tell, you know, they could spot a bigger branch broken like this. So what you can do is take some mud and just You want to avoid any shine or anything that's out of the ordinary, so blend it in. And that's the same thing goes for the camo. So, you know, like I said, you want to match the vegetation in your area as best as possible. If you do have to leave footprints like this, you know, you can just, so when we are moving, you want to avoid up on the mount, on the very top, you want to avoid walking on the very edge of the crest. You want to be lower than the actual top because you don't want to have any silhouette be shown. So if you were on a hill, say this was the peak, you want to be crossing it about 30% down or 70% up, if that makes sense, because your silhouette would be shown clearly at the top. So you want to walk along that. You want your best to avoid open areas. As I said, I was hiding behind this tree, keeping low, staying low, moving low. Avoid water as much as you can. Okay, so when you are being tracked, there's a couple of things you want to do. Is one is you never want to evade them in a straight path. It's easy to fall. So a technique that you can do is called a J hook. So you'd be going straight and then loop out like a J, even though that's backwards. I'm just doing it because I'm left-handed, but that'll throw off the scent. If they have canines or whatever, you'll throw them off. It's not a straight loop, and they'll be confused trying to follow the path. The scent will be thrown off, and I'm not explaining that well, but the point is the J movement is is like a known effective way to throw off trackers, or as well as if you're running, you know, a zigzag pattern. Just the main thing is don't ever evade in a single line. You know, do the best you can to throw them off in multi-directional ways. And yeah. Okay, so hopefully you can hear this, but this it sounds like almost like a jet, maybe military, is passing over me. This is a great time to be moving. Okay, I've just been moving a little faster, not recording it so much because I'm trying to make this video before it gets too dark out. I'm pretty deep in the woods now, but that plane, I'm perfect. Okay, so again, I'm not, I have like no military background with this shit at all. This is just stuff I learned. I've been trying to practice. Again, what's just the final of conclusions? You know, always avoid main trails. You want to be traveling through dense areas where, you know, less humans are gonna be around. The thicker the vegetation, the better. When you do need to rest, hard cover is best. But again, I'm out here in the open, so you see there's a lot of open area between the trees. So like I said, I was laying down, getting as low as possible, blending in. You know, I have some cover above me. You want to do your best. You know, if they have drones or planes, the thicker vegetation above you is a huge part too. But if you could find like a cave I'm up in North Georgia, if you could find like a cave or something like that that's off grid, or not on a main trail or something like that, like deep out in the woods, that's perfect. The hard cover is good, but you never want to stay in one spot for too long. All right, guys, so since I don't want neighbors to hear me shooting on these woods, the sound travels across the lake. I got Johnny picking me up on the jet ski now. I'm heading back. Hope you liked the video. See ya.